Long ago, in the bustling village of Umuocha, where the cock crowed before dawn and farmers raised the sunrise, there lived two very different friends. One was a hardworking horse named Ikechukwu. The other was a notoriously lazy goat named Nwoke-Ehi. Now, before you judge Nwoke-Ehi too quickly, understand that he was not merely lazy. He was a professional, a specialist, an award-winning expert in avoiding work. If laziness were a university course, Nwoke-Ehi would have graduated with first-class honors and become a lecturer. Every morning, while other animals hurried to their farms, Nwoke-Ehi would be stretched under the village mango tree like a retired chief who had conquered 7 kingdoms. The problem was that he had conquered absolutely nothing. One morning, Ikechukwu passed by carrying farming tools. "Good morning, my friend." Nwoke-Ehi yawned. "Oh, Ike. Again. Going to the farm?" "Yes." "You went yesterday?" "Yes." "You went the day before?" "Yes." "You even went on Sunday afternoon?" "Yes." The goat shook his head. "My brother, calm down. This your ambition will one day injure you." Ike laughed. "My friend, I am only working." Nwoke-Ehi sat upright. "Working? No. This is overworking. Why are you behaving as if you want to own the entire village?" Then he returned to sleep. Meanwhile, Ikechukwu continued his journey. Months passed. The rainy season arrived. Ike's farm expanded. His yam barns grew. His cassava fields stretched like a green carpet. His maize stood proudly like soldiers on parade. The villagers admired him. But Nwoke-Ehi, he became the village motivational speaker for lazy people. Every day he gathered followers beneath the mango tree. There were tortoises who hated movement. Some ducks who preferred gossip. A pig who considered walking 50 meters a marathon. And a ram whose greatest achievement was winning eating competitions. Nwoke-Ehi would clear his throat dramatically. "My fellow villagers." They nodded. "People like Ike are too ambitious." "Yes," shouted the pig. "They don't know how to enjoy life." "Exactly," agreed the ram. The tortoise raised a leg. "What is the secret of success?" Nwoke-Ehi smiled proudly. "Rest." The crowd clapped. "More rest." The crowd cheered. "Even more rest." The crowd went wild. The tortoise nearly fainted from excitement. One day, the village king announced a competition. Whoever produced the largest harvest at the end of the season would receive 10 bags of cowries, a large piece of fertile land, the title of village champion farmer. The entire village became excited. Everybody rushed to their farms. Except Nwoke-Ehi. He called a meeting. "My people, this competition is a trap." The pig gasped. "A trap?" "Yes." The ram trembled. "A serious trap." "Very serious." The tortoise whispered. "So we should not participate?" "Exactly." The crowd sighed with relief. The goat smiled. "Let those overambitious people stress themselves." Meanwhile, Ikechukwu worked harder. He woke before dawn. He planted. He weeded. He irrigated. He repaired fences. He chased monkeys. He chased rabbits. He even chased a stubborn chicken that somehow believed his maize belonged to its ancestors. By harvest season, his farm looked like paradise. People traveled from neighboring villages to admire it. Then came Judgment Day. The king and elders inspected every farm. When they reached Ike's farm, everyone stood speechless. Yams, cassava, maize, vegetables, plantains. Everything flourished. The king smiled. This is remarkable. Ike won easily. The crowd erupted in celebration. Drums filled the air. Dancers danced. Children sang. Women ululated. The king handed him the prize. Meanwhile, beneath the mango tree, Nwoke-Ehi was still sleeping. A messenger woke him. The competition is over. The goat stretched. Who won? Ike. The goat laughed. I am not surprised. The messenger looked confused. You're not? No. The goat nodded wisely. People like him are always chasing success. Then he rolled over and slept again. Months later, disaster struck. A severe drought hit the village. Food became scarce. Farms dried up. Prices soared. Suddenly everyone became concerned. Especially the members of the Lazy People's Association. The pig cried. The ram cried. Even the tortoise cried, although nobody could tell because tortoises always look worried. Nwoke-Ehi finally decided to visit his food storage. Unfortunately, his food storage was completely empty. Mainly because he had never stored any food. He stared into the empty barn. The empty barn stared back. Both remained silent for several minutes. Hunger soon began teaching lessons. The kind of lessons schools never teach. One afternoon, Nwoke-Ehi's stomach growled so loudly that birds flew out of nearby trees. He decided to visit Ike. When he arrived, he found massive barns filled with food. Yams stacked high. Corn overflowing. Cassava piled everywhere. The goat almost fainted. Ike. My friend. How are you? I am fine. The goat forced a smile. Wonderful weather we're having. Drought. Exactly. Ike frowned. What do you want? The goat swallowed. Well, friendship. Friendship. And maybe 10 yams. Ike laughed. Nwoke-Ehi, for years you called me overambitious. Small misunderstanding. You said I worked too hard. Friendly advice. You said I was obsessed with success. Constructive criticism. Ike folded his arms. And now? The goat sighed. And now I am hungry. I gave him food. Because hardworking people are often kinder than lazy people imagine. The goat ate until tears filled his eyes. He ate like someone trying to compensate for several bad life decisions. The next day he gathered his followers. The pig arrived. The ram arrived. The tortoise arrived. Everyone expected another lecture. Instead, Nwoke-Ehi stood solemnly. My fellow villagers. They nodded. I have an announcement. What is it? The goat took a deep breath. I have been a fool. The crowd gasped. The pig dropped a coconut. The ram nearly swallowed grass the wrong way. The tortoise blinked twice, which was considered extreme shock. Nwoke-Ehi continued. I spent years mocking hardworking people. The crowd listened. I called discipline obsession. I called effort over ambition. I called preparation unnecessary. The crowd lowered their heads. But when hunger came, excuses could not feed me. Silence filled the gathering. My friends, laziness is dangerous because it disguises itself as wisdom. The crowd nodded. Sometimes people insult hardworking people not because the hardworking people are wrong. He paused. But because watching another person's discipline reminds them of their own excuses. The crowd became very quiet. Even the birds stopped singing. From that day onward, Nwoke-Ehi changed. Not overnight. Because habits are stubborn. On his first day of farming, he walked for 15 minutes and nearly wrote his will. On the second day, he walked 30 minutes and complained to everyone. By the third week, however, he began improving. Months later, he had his own thriving farm. Not as large as Ike's, but large enough. For the first time in his life, he understood something important. Success looked like luck from far away. But up close, it looked like hard work repeated every day. Years later, village children would gather around the elders to hear this famous story. And the elders would always end with the same words. Beware of the goat who calls the horse overambitious. Many people criticize effort because effort exposes their excuses. The person planting while others are laughing may be the one feeding everyone tomorrow. And from that day, whenever someone mocked a hardworking person for being too serious or too ambitious, the villagers would laugh and say, "Careful! Don't become another Nwoke-Ehi." Hunger has a way of correcting motivational speeches. Lessons from the folktale. Lazy people often criticize the discipline they refuse to practice. Hard work may look excessive to those who avoid responsibility. Preparation always looks unnecessary until the day it becomes essential. Success is usually the result of consistent effort, not luck. Excuses can entertain you today but cannot sustain you tomorrow. Never let people who have achieved nothing define your level of ambition. The rewards of hard work may be delayed, but they rarely fail. Many criticisms come from envy disguised as advice. A good friend tells the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Opportunity favors those who prepare long before it arrives. Moral of the story. When lazy people see diligence, they call it overambition. When hardworking people see opportunity, they call it preparation. The difference becomes obvious when harvest season arrives.